It's called the Anahata in Sanskrit. Now here we're moving into the upper chakras. We're moving into the spiritual realms. When we say get past the head, get into the heart, it's because your heart actually lies your desires. And it's the center of your faith and trust. Your trust with others, of course. You can expect that the heart chakra has to do with relationships with others and relationships with the self, right? At the end of yoga, I always have us put our hands in prayer, and in the center of our chest, you honor the place where you can give unconditional love towards those around you, as well as yourself. But it also is a place, this is huge, it's a place where you honor your dreams. It's a place where you honor your dreams. It's a place where you honor that you are the creator. You are the creator of your life. Now, if you have issues with the heart chakra, you're going to see issues with the lower lungs, skin allergies, blood problems, and issues with the circulatory system. So the thing about the heart chakra is what is really going to block a lot of the heart chakra is obviously your relationships with other people. So what happens, there's something called samskaras in the Indian Vedic text. Does anybody know what that would be? Has anybody heard of that? Samskaras are scars on the soul. They're scars on the soul. And so, what happens is we have relationships and somebody lets us down, somebody breaks our trust, we get heartbroken, and we start to learn about our relationship and how we open up to others. And when we're in spaces where the goal is you have these samskaras that happen. You get hurt, right? And what happens a lot of the time is people go, okay, I'm learning now. I can't trust everybody. I'm going chink, 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 chink. I'm going to put all these blocks around my heart. And I'm not going to let people in. I'm going to be guarded. I'm going to be emotionally closed. That's another unbalanced version of the anahata, emotionally closed and skeptical. Very pessimistic, looking for what's going to go wrong. You don't trust, it's the phrase, I don't trust people until they teach me I can trust them. That is like, your heart chakra is pretty dim, And I know people when I say that, they're like, oh, you're crazy, like you're naive. And it's like, no, it doesn't mean I'm not aware, I'm not observing, or I don't create the boundaries when necessary, but I give people a chance. And I don't put what somebody did with me in the past. I had to learn this really when I was dating, because I was very jaded. And I'm like, okay, this man in front of me is not my ex. He's not going to I have to give him I have to give him a fresh start, a fresh blank slate. So when you're working with samskaras, the goal is you have to do the healing. You have to do the healing. And you have to work with your trust. It's not about you trusting people. It's about you trusting the divine, right? You trusting your higher power. You trusting that everything is right on time. So they're going to bring the right relationships into your life at the right time. And it's important for you not, when you block, what happens is you miss opportunities that come in. This is just an example. Say you went through bad relationship after bad relationship after bad relationship, and then at that point you haven't done the healing process or looked at what you were trying to be taught. So then you have this amazing man sitting in front of you, and maybe he's somebody that is like a perfect partner for you and could be, heck, your soulmate. And you're all like, no, I don't trust men. I don't trust men. You're missing an opportunity because your heart chakra's closed. And that's when it becomes an issue. That phrase, I remember when I was going through my heartbreak and I was starting to learn about this knowledge, and I was like walking on the beach 5 years ago with one of my old best friends. We're not friends anymore. But I had tears in my eyes. I was talking about it. I was like a mess. And she goes, yeah, there's no good men out there. And I looked at her and I was like, I still don't believe that. And why is because I'm like, I have a lot of good men around me. I was like, my brothers are both good men. They're like some of my best friends. I see the way they treat women. I have guy best friends that I love to death. I'm like, I don't choose to believe that belief system because I know it will shut me down. So.
Were you always conscious of that stuff? Like I think about my daughter who lost her boyfriend, and I don't know that she doesn't trust, but she doesn't want to give, I should say, because I don't want to ever be hurt again like that. So when she's out, is she thinking, or maybe I guess she's thinking I don't want to be hurt again, and that's why it's blocked.
Yeah.
That's another blockage.
Not because of trust,
Yeah.
but just because
I don't
of
want to be
loss.
hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course. That is, I would say more than, because below that I don't trust anybody, or because it's the core of it is I don't want to feel that pain again. And the truth is you might feel that pain again. You might. And it's not about that actually. It's the lower then is if I feel that pain again, I know I'm going to be okay.
Yep.
But I'm not going to block the blessings that God or higher power, whatever it is you call it, is providing for me because of fear, because I don't want to be wondering what if. And so maybe it's about her learning how to be okay with the idea of suffering. And I know that sounds daunting, but my heartbreak, I remember I kept trying to go back to sleep. I don't want to freaking wake up. I was like, what is this? And I would do it over and over and over and over again because of what it gave me. So it's about, at that point, inner strength. So then it goes down to her sacral. See how it's all it's really interesting how it's all connected. So looking at your heart chakra, you guys, where are you blocking people? Where are you not allowing people in? Let me look really quick to make sure I gave you guys everything that I wanted. Oh, when it's overactive, because it can be overactive, you can be obsessive and addicted to relationships, constantly in relationships. Could be self-absorbed. It could be defensive. And it could be sarcastic. If somebody, no, you're different. You're different. I'll give you guys an example, because when we first started this work, there's this lady that walked in, and straight out of the gates, just sarcasm. I couldn't get a word in without her there was some sort of sarcastic joke about it. And what I noticed later on is in the opening circle, and as we kind of went down the road of and me and my mom just kind of, sometimes when people are so sarcastic, I'm like, there's something that they're blocking. When we started getting to deeper levels, she broke down crying. She had a lot of not baggage is the wrong word. She had a lot of trauma that she had never looked at, and her sarcasm was a way that she kept people at arm's length. You can't get too close, because if you get too close, I'm going to break down. So when people are overly sarcastic, give them compassion, and sometimes it gets to a point where you just don't laugh.
Yeah. Self-deprecating is really hard for me to be around.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't do that to yourself. And my husband was doing that, and I was like, this is not funny, and this is not.
Yeah.
Stop speaking like this. This is not okay.
Yeah. Just say say what's going on. How are you?
Well, obviously they're hurting.
Yeah.
Especially self-deprecation, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's you say, how are you doing? And they're like, oh, it's just
yeah.
barely
My world's falling apart.
Yeah, my world's falling apart. And it's well, don't trying to make light of it, which I get, at some point too, but also it's well, what are you stuffing? Because it will affect, and it will spill over into your life. So when you're balanced, you trust the universe. This is huge. You don't carry baggage from the past, especially within relationships. And it doesn't mean that you still don't have moments. If say if you're opening, for example, with my relationship now, I was single for 4 years, and I thought I did a lot of work. around my past relationship. And there's still stuff that comes up in this relationship that I didn't realize that I still struggled with. And so it's not about me shoving it back. It's about me having a conversation, being like, hey, like, I was worrying about this, all this, or I noticed this, like, what's your, like, can you, like, help me sort that out? Am I seeing it wrong, or is this something? And so it's not about shoving it back in a way, but if it comes up, heal it, have a conversation. Soul remains unaffected by the ups and downs. Soul remains unaffected by the ups and downs. You're not constantly like on an emotional roller coaster if something doesn't go your way. You're in trust. And you're constantly in a state of surrender.